Hello, my name is Shirley Gordon, and we're back again for our interview leading up to the Greater St. John Missionary Baptist Church 100th anniversary. Now, if you'll remember, I told you we were going to be in for a big surprise, and boy, do we have one. Our interview with us today is Brother Clarence White, and he is going to take us a little bit back in time as to his special parents that he will be bringing in the spotlight today. Hello, Clarence.
Hello, Shirley.
Hi,
Thank you for having me here.
It was a pleasure. Tell us a little bit about your parents and when they came and what they were doing before they came. We're just interested.
Okay, let us begin in Marion, Indiana, where my father was the pastor of the Second Baptist Church of Marion, Indiana. In 1944, the members and congregation of St. John Missionary Baptist Church of South Bend, Indiana, called my father to be the pastor here. A little history, if I may, on B.L. White Sr. He was not only the pastor here at St. John Missionary Baptist Church, but he was also involved in many community activities here in South Bend. To name a few little-known Black history facts, he was board of directors of the Hearing House. He was the first president of the local NAACP here in South Bend, Indiana. He was also the chairman of the founding committee for the Urban League. And he was the first vice president of the Indiana State Convention. Just a little bit of his background while coming to South Bend, Indiana. Also, if I may, let me introduce you to the other members of my family. My mother, Clara Margaret White, a long time active community member. She served as on the nursing staff of Memorial Hospital for many years, and she retired as an LPN. She was one of the first Black women in South Bend on the school crossing guard. She was honored in 2016 for the Black History Month honoree. And she was just a person that kept giving as long as her health allowed. One of my brothers, Bernard L. White Jr., he was a school teacher here in the city. Not only was he a school teacher, he was a director of the choirs here at St. John Church. He was also the executive director of the Heating, Plumbing, and Cooling Association of St. Joe County. And in 1968 through 1971, he was a state representative in the state of Indiana. My sister, Cynthia, she was the pianist and the organist for many years here at St. John Church. She worked with people like Louise Hubbard, Johnny Campbell. Names go way back. Some of you may remember, some of you may not. And she was the organist and the pianist. And she played for such great singers as Bertha Norman, one of the greatest soloists I've ever heard. My sister Peggy, she did a little bit everything around here at the church. And sometimes she was a secretary, sometimes she was this and that, and she was a lead singer in the choir. So those three I brought out in because they were the older of the family, and they did a lot in this community and in this church. There's also Marvin, there's also Wanda, my baby sister, and then me, the last of the original 6. So we had a beautiful family. We had a mother and a father and a grandmother that lived with us. And we were just raised right here. We moved into the house at 130 North Adams Street when we moved to South Bend. And we were there for about 4 or 5 years. And then we moved over to a house on College Street where the Martin Luther King Jr. Center is now located. So that was my family. That is my family. And that's what they did while here at St. John Missionary Baptist Church. Now, if I may, if you permit me to just say this, and if you have any more questions, I'd be glad to answer them if I can. But I have to say this on behalf of my family. My father was pastor here at St. John for 31 years. And during that time, I had the privilege and the opportunity to meet the most wonderful people on God's green earth. And by the way, before I continue, because of his popularity as a preacher in this city and across this state, he was in demand for a lot of speaking engagements all the time. And therefore, because he was in such a demand, we the family, we saw very little of our dad when we were growing up. He was home when he could be, but he was away preaching or at some other civic organizational meetings. The man on the go, that was our dad. And this that I'm holding here is the 10 Commandments for the Negro Church, which was written by my dad. He stressed education so much in this church and in this community. Outside of saving souls for Christ, his biggest enjoyment was seeing young folks get a good education. He was adamant about that. There were 6 children, as I stated, in our family. 5 of those 6 children had the opportunity to go to college. He wasn't making a whole lot of money back in those days, as you know, but he did whatever he could. And that was the reason why he was gone from home for so long. He was trying to raise money so he could send his kids to college if they wanted to go. And 5 of those 6 wanted to go to college. And he never complained. So we owe a lot to our dad and our mother. They did a lot. They did a lot for us growing up. This community did a whole lot for us growing up. If it wasn't for this community allowing my dad to stay here for 31 years, I don't know how we would have turned out, but some folks told us we turned out pretty good. And we thank St. John for that privilege. And to conclude, I will say the White family will be forever grateful to the members, past and present, of St. John, Greater St. John Baptist Church. God bless you. Happy anniversary. Oh, I'm sorry. I would be remiss if I did not give you my dad's full title. His title officially was Reverend Dr. Bernard L. White Sr., D.D., Doctor of Divinity.
Thank you, Clarence. That was awesome. It's really been a privilege and an honor to go back and think about where we've come from. And just let me say this. I loved your dad. When he spoke the word, a baby could understand it. And an even greater privilege, when I was 9 years old, he baptized me. I will never, ever forget Reverend Bernard L. White Sr. or his wife, Sister Claire. Again, thank you for participating with us. And we will continue with our 100th celebration leading up to the grand finale in October. Stay tuned. There's more to come.